Hello again, Gills fans. Welcome back to another episode of Gills in the Blood TV. It is that time now. We are less than a week away from the EFL season returning. 6 days until we travel to Accrington Stanley. We know they are now for our first game of the 2018-19 campaign. So the purpose of this vlog is for me to have a look at a preview type section on the Gills for the upcoming season, which will involve pre-season review, transfers, and a couple of other bits, and then I will look at the division as a whole, the winners, the losers, who's going to go up as champions, who's getting relegated, that sort of thing. So yeah, whatever I suggest, bet on the opposite. But first, I'm going to have a look back at Gillingham's pre-season campaign, which I think on the whole has been okay. These games always serve a purpose. There's pros and cons of playing non-league, there's pros and cons of playing bigger sides, Premier League sides, who these days unfortunately tend to send under 23 teams to play the likes of us. So is there a real benefit? But only 2 defeats, and that was unfortunately yesterday. We got hammered at Colchester, 3-0 down at the break, or 3-1 down at the break, sorry, and down to 10 men. So not ideal preparation, but won't hit the panic button just yet. But overall, I thought it was a decent exercise. The pre-season campaign, the quality started off pretty lowly at Sheppey, way back when England was still in the World Cup in the quarterfinals. And yeah, I think the double headers were beneficial. It got lots of players, lots of minutes. Got us to have a look at the youngsters, the first, the second year pros, so that can only be beneficial to them as well. But all in all, it serves a purpose. They're not the most ideal things. It causes a lot of different opinions, like anything, but for me, losing 5-1 at Colchester doesn't mean we're going to get relegated any more than thumping Bromley 5-1 and Eastleigh 4-0 and Dover and Dartford 3-0 doesn't mean we're going to win the league at a canter and be up by Christmas. It gives the chance for the new signings to bed in, gives a chance for everyone to get some minutes in their legs, get their fitness up, and just to touch on yesterday's defeat again, I think if we look at it in a positive spin, Steve Lovell will have a big week with them. I think they'll know that they don't want that to happen again next week, and we'll get a positive reaction. So we look forward to Accrington. So yeah. So first key question, 2018-2019, who will be the Gills top scorer? And I think it is going to be this man coming up on your screen right now. It may be boring, it may be predictable, but I'm going to stick with the big Scouse lad who was our top scorer last season, and that is Tom Eaves. I know he will miss the first game of the season at Accrington, but I think he will have a big impact on us moving forward once he recovers from this minor ankle problem. I think he'll have a huge part to play. Steve Lovell's spoken plenty of times of how he has got at him about staying in danger areas more, not drifting out wide, staying between the posts in the 6-yard box. He mentioned at the recent question and answer session that he wanted him and also Josh Parker to score more tap-ins. So for that reason, I think with a couple of games to get himself up to speed, I think Tom Eaves is going to have a huge part to play for us this season. So he is my pick for top scorer. And next I will move on to which player will have a breakthrough season. And I am going to go for this man. Steve Lovell said at the end of last season, if Elliott List gets 1 goal, he will get more than that and he will go on a run, and so that has proved. Knows what he's talking about, this Lovell chap. Scored the goal that effectively got us safe at Bristol Rovers back end of last season. Come off the bench, scored a really good 5th against Plymouth on the final day. And hit the ground running throughout the summer. Scored 4 in 6 appearances. I think that he was averaging a goal every 89 minutes throughout pre-season. Yes, perspective, we look at the opposition, but he's sticking in the back of the net, and that's all we can ask. I'd rather be sitting here talking about him scoring against the likes of Dover and Tunbridge Angels, etc., than not scoring against them. So for that reason, I think Elliott List will have a bigger impact this season. I think Steve Lovell has set a position for him, which is as an out-and-out striker. Pace at this level is absolutely vital. It's a massive threat, and with the confidence that he's now got, knowing that he can hit the back of the net, I'm going to back him to get into double figures for goals this season. No pressure, Elliott. Right, now in terms of youngsters, and I'm not going to include Elliot List in this one because he's been in around the first team now for a few years now. So the next question is, excuse me, youngster who will have the biggest impact for Gills. That doesn't mean he's got to score 30 goals or make 40 assists, or I just think someone that will continue to improve, someone that will continue to break into the side, have an effect on games when he gets minutes. And it's a lad that come in January. In the game against Maidstone, sorry, mine went blank, and that is midfielder Navid Nasseri. I think 90% of Gills fans will say that at the moment, if we do play a number 10, that Dean Parrott's probably the man to take that position first off. But I think Nasseri has shown on plenty of occasions at the back end of last season and throughout pre-season that he has plenty of ability. He has the tools to succeed at this level, and he's had the benefit of a proper pre-season with us now, so he knows the club better. And I think that Nasseri this season will have a big part to play when he gets minutes. So he will be my breakthrough youngster, which brings me on to, I've already said about Dean Parrott. So the final part is just about transfer overview, really. The new signings that we brought in 6, all promising for me. There's a good mixture of experience in terms of Callum Riley, who we had last season, was quality. Barry Fuller knows the club, loads of appearances at Football League level, League 1 and League 2, playoff winning captain, and it's great to go into a season with 2 out and out right backs. I can't remember the last time we did that. And Dean Parrott, obviously, I think is the marquee, the standout signing of the 6 for us. If you're not including Riley, because he's coming back, so to speak, but he looks like he'll be the one that makes us tick, keeps the ball moving, and gets us on the front foot. And then with that, we had 3 youngsters that come in as well. I'm not sure they'll all start straight away, but they've all got potential. Josh Reese had a very good season at Bromley last time out. Regan Charles Cook played over 30 games for Woking in the National League. Looks very exciting, very quick, very raw. I think we're going to have to bear with the likes of these from time to time, but it's exciting to see how they get on. And Brendan Hanlon, who looks an absolute tank, big old bloke, can run though, really gets a move on. See him at Dartford, he was really good first half for me. Thought he was running in behind, was really good, really intelligent runs, just didn't get any breaks and the ball just wouldn't fall to him, unfortunately. But he scored 3 good goals in pre-season, so promising signs until obviously we start the games in earnest. We won't know how they get on, but for me, a decent window. Steve Lovell knew what he wanted to do and he got it done nice and early. So on to the big question: where will Gills finish? And I'm trying not to read too much into the pre-season results. Like I've already said, I'm not going to overly panic after yesterday, and I'm not going to get overly excited after we thrashed Bromley. But I think we will finish here. '11th. I've gone for 11th this season. Last season I said 16th and we ended up finishing 17th, so I wasn't too far out. I've had a bet on us finishing the top half, so if I'm one place out again and we finish 12th, then happy days for me. So yeah, I'm going to go for 11th. I think defensively we're absolutely fine. We can maybe bring in another centre half in case Steve wants to play 3 at the back. But the three centre halves, the senior ones from last season, Alex Lacey, Gabby Zakwani, Max Amar, all very good at this level. Finn O'Mara keeps stepping up. I was impressed with him at Dartford. 2 right backs, as I've already mentioned, that's good. Luke O'Neill, Barry Fuller on the left. If we can get Bradley Garmston fully fit, then I've said it plenty of times, he's as good as anything in this division in that position. And then Aaron Simpson looks like he's going to be the backup to Bradley Garmston. And the 2 keepers we know, Thomas Hadler and Thomas Holy. So I think we're fine there. Billy Bingham could be key if we can keep him fit. I think if he plays that role at the base of the diamond, if we play it, he can then drop in as a centre half when we're on the ball, which allows the likes of Garmston and O'Neill or Fuller or Simpson, whoever's playing wing back, to be able to bomb on and get us higher up the pitch to get good delivery into dangerous areas. Last season we had Tom Eves and Josh Parker scored 30 goals between them there and thereabouts, and that was in a side that didn't score for the first month, lacked creativity at times. So if a couple of these new signings like Charles Cook or Dean Parrott or Navid Nasseri, if he's getting minutes of the existing squad, can get the ball into decent areas and create chances, I think the likes of Eves and Parker will still score goals. Elliot Lister's looked very good in pre-season. Liam Nash has been bright. Connor Wilkinson started off really well and then picked up a dead leg, but he's back to fitness now. So I think we'll be all right. I think midfield will be the key this season. That's the bit where we've had a bit of an overhaul. But the other two areas, I think we was okay last season. And the form under Steve Lovell generally was very, very good. So great start would be key. But at the same time, if we don't get the result we're looking for next Saturday, it's not the end of the world. It's 90 minutes out of about 4,000 that we're going to play in the league this season. But that is my prediction. 11th place for the Gills. And the final bit about the club is who starts at Accrington. Because I had a team pick that I thought it would be, and it seems now that the likes of Elliot List, Tom Eaves and a couple of others might be doubtful for the first weekend, and Mark Burns' red card, we are waiting on news now whether he's going to be suspended. But if Mark Burns is available, then my team for next Saturday is coming up on the screen right now. For me, the back five picks itself at the moment, so that would be Thomas Holy, Luke O'Neill right back, Bradley Garmston left back, and my two centre backs would be Captain Gabby Zakwani and Max Amar, who was superb together last season for pretty much all of Steve Lovell's reign. I would then play Billy Bingham, if fit, at the base of a diamond. I just think his range of passing is very good. He's calm on the ball. He keeps us moving from deep line areas, almost like that quarterback role playmaker. Either side of the diamond, if he's available, Mark Byrne from the right and Callum Riley on the left of that. And at the tip of the diamond, I'd have to start with Dean Parrott. And up top, which is where the questions have been raised, Tom Eaves is definitely out, it looks like. Elliot List looks like he's out now, unfortunately, as well. So my choice, and Liam Nash might feel a bit unfortunate to miss out. I'd go though with Connor Wilkinson partnered with Josh Parker. Similarly to List, if Connor Wilkinson could pinch one early doors this season, he could go on and have a very good campaign. He got accused last season of not working hard enough, but I thought he improved massively under Steve Lovell. His work ethic changed dramatically. And Josh Parker scored 14, 15 goals last season, so I think you've got to put him in the starting lineup. In terms of bench, I'm not sure yet. It might depend on who's available that are struggling for fitness, maybe not able to start. But that would be my starting 11. So that is my preview for us. So I am saying Tom Eaves top scorer, Elliot List to have a breakthrough season, Navid Nasera to be the youngster who has the biggest impact, and an 11th place finish. Let me know your thoughts. But now, having said that we are going to finish 11th, I'm going to talk about where everyone else is going to finish. I'd like to put a record before I start. I'm no tipping expert, gambling expert, betting expert, so please do not take this as gospel and run down to your local bookmaker and start lumping money on people. But I'm going to talk in depth about who I think will be in the top 6 quickly, who will be in the bottom 4, and then I will put my full table up at the end. So who will be champions? I think myself it will be this team. I am going to go for Bradford City. I know they struggled last season, had issues with the manager being changed, and then Simon Grayson come in, took over, left again. But for me, I think their recruitment's been really good this summer. They're a huge club at this level. They get excellent crowds every week. I just think if they start properly, Valley Parade will be rocking. They've brought in some really good footballers to add to what they've already got. I think Charlie Wyke, if he continues his goal scoring form, he could get 20 goals from this season. They've brought in Akpan from Burton, I think it is. They've got in Sean Scannell. They've got in Jack Payne, who I think is a huge signing on loan from Huddersfield, who was at Oxford and then Blackburn in League One last season and was very impressive. Defensively, I think they'll be sound. And there's one of our ex-players that's gone up there this summer, which is Josh Wright. I'm not sure he'll get in the side straight away. No disrespect to Josh. But yeah, 25 to 1 with most bookmakers, Bradford. I think it's a massive price if you're going to have a bet each way. But they would be my tip to be champions. And then in behind them, I am going to talk about Charlton. I think will finish runners-up. the squad's pretty much the same as last season. They've added a couple of good players at this level and all. They brought in Lyle Taylor, I think, from Wimbledon, who scored goals in the struggling side last season. So with better service and more chances, he might score more. Portsmouth, I think, have finished third. They've found their feet at this level again. Again, similarly to, well, Charlton and Bradford. Massive ground, Premier League ground a few years ago. Excellent atmosphere. We witnessed that firsthand in March. And I think they've got all the things there in place to have a real good go this season. Fourth, I'm going to go Southend. I think Chris Powell's an excellent manager at this level. He was one of the names I wanted to come in when Justin Edinburgh left the football club. It never happened. Southend improved markedly after he took over last season. They've recruited really well. They've got some good footballers at the club already. And I think our friends from Essex will have a really good season and finish fourth. Fifth, I'm going to go for, and this is my surprise package of the season, and that is Luton. There always tends to be one side that follows up their promotion and just carries on rolling with the momentum and challenges for promotion for a second consecutive season. I think Nathan Jones is an excellent manager. He'll be really looking forward to testing himself in a bigger division against bigger football clubs. Luton, again, they've got a very good side. They play the right way, and I think they'll continue the momentum and they'll end up finishing in the playoffs this season. And my final playoff place goes to Peterborough. Now, this could go horribly wrong. Steve Evans has brought in pretty much a whole new team, a whole new squad over the summer, but they've signed some quality, some real quality. They've let a lot go as well, but I think if they can gel quick enough, I think they could have a really good season. I've always accused Peterborough of being a side that will go 8-9 games unbeaten and then lose 6 or 7 on the bounce. They're very inconsistent, but if you can sort that out, Steve Evans, whatever you think of him as an individual, I think Posh will be there or thereabouts this season. So that's my top 6, and now on to the dreaded bottom 4, and I'm going to go with these 4 clubs. So in 24th position, I have gone for Walsall. They've struggled for a couple of seasons now. If you go back to that 2015-16 season when us and them were right at the top, right up until, Christ knows, March, April, and then fell away. Both of our sides broke up after that, and we've both struggled since. But they've lost Oztema this summer. He's gone to Bolton, and I think he's a massive part of keeping them up last season. Basically, if he played well, they played well. He's gone. I'm not sure that they can replace him with adequate quality. So for that reason, I'm going to say Walsall are going to finish bottom. 23rd, I'm going to say Accrington Stanley. John Coleman's done a brilliant job up there on an absolute tiny budget. Well, I think it was the smallest in the Football League last season. He worked wonders. And to be honest, I'd love them to finish higher up, but I cannot see it. I think League One might be a step too far this season. If Billy Key scores goals, then they've got a chance. But if he doesn't, I think they could be in real trouble. I'm going to have them down. I think that's why they'll probably get relegated. 22nd, I'm going to go for Blackpool. Similar reason. I'm not sure where they're going to score enough goals this season. They've lost Kyle Vassell. He's gone to, I think, Rotherham in the Championship. He was very good last season. He ruined us at the Priestfield back in March or April. But I don't know whether they've got enough quality this time around to stay up. And it could be a case of that second season syndrome. They carried momentum last term after getting promoted. But will they be found out this time around? We'll have to see. And 21st, and this is probably the biggest surprise for everyone for me, but I have got in the final relegation spot last season's surprise package the other way, and that is Shrewsbury. Sorry, Shrewsbury fans. I just think you lost twice at Wembley last season. Is that correct? And your squad's broken up. And bigger than that, you've lost your manager, Paul Hurst, who has gone to Ipswich in the Championship. Massive loss, bigger than all the players for me. I think he's done a great job. Deserves his chance, I'm sure you would agree, Shrewsbury fans, if you are watching. But unfortunately, I think it's going to be a season of struggle for you guys, and that is my 4 then to get relegated: Walsall, Accrington, Blackpool and Shrewsbury. So that is my thoughts. That concludes it for this video today. Coming up on the screen now is the final table as I predicted for 2018-19. It will be completely wrong, but here it comes nonetheless. As always, get involved with us on Twitter, get involved on Facebook, wherever you like, on YouTube. Just comment in the box below with the video. Let us know who you think's going to win the league, who's going to win the playoffs, who's going to get relegated, anything you like, who's going to be top scorer, surprise package, biggest disappointment, that type of thing. Thanks for watching. Keep doing all you can. We really appreciate the support as always. And until next time, up the Gills.